California Governor Gavin Newsom could be in real trouble tonight, according to a new poll that shows him losing the upcoming recall vote. Opponents continue to hammer Newsom on the Golden State's crime wave, like some of the brazen smash and grab shoplifting videos. Those thefts, they keep going viral. Let's discuss the Golden State's latest with Hoover Institute fellow and candidate for California State Controller, Lanhee Chen. Great to have you back.
Hey, Shannon, good to be with you.
All right, so much news out of California. I'm going to try to go lightning round with you, but let's start about the recall there. The Wall Street Journal says suddenly it's a contest. Ballots for the September 14th vote will start being mailed in the coming weeks, and 3 recent polls show Mr. Newsom is vulnerable. They go into some of the numbers there, and they are not trending in his favor. But there are a lot of doubters, Lanhee, who think that Californians are actually ready to dump him for a Republican or someone else.
Yeah, look, I think, Shannon, there's a lot of frustration out here, and I think that's what's driving some of these numbers you're seeing that are very troubling for Gavin Newsom. I'd be very worried if I were Gavin Newsom and his team, because you talked about the crime issue, you're seeing the wildfires, you're seeing the mismanagement in the state, and all of these things are adding up. You know, we had a massive unemployment insurance fraud in this state that led to $30 billion in fraud perpetrated against taxpayers. All of these things combined, I think, are leading people to want change, and I think that environment is what's ultimately driving the difficulty that Gavin Newsom is experiencing.
Okay, so let's talk crime. I'm going to put up some of the numbers here of the spikes in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Oakland. So you've got these spikes in crime, but we're also following a couple recalls out there for prosecutors who, a lot of folks there on the ground, trying to recall them because they think they're not actually prosecuting some of these crimes. They're going a little bit soft on crime. Now, they voted them in. The recall efforts are underway, but so far no success for those who oppose these prosecutors they don't think are actually doing their jobs.
Well, look, the prosecutors aren't doing their jobs. In big cities like San Francisco and L.A., what you're seeing is time and again the example that's set by criminals who can go in, perpetrate these crimes, and realize there's no penalty for committing these crimes. So that's why you're seeing, again, frustration with the status quo. So the DAs in L.A. and San Francisco face these recall efforts. I don't know whether they'll be successful, but there's certainly a lot of people in California who believe that public safety is the principal issue that's going to ultimately doom Gavin Newsom, going to doom the one-party monopoly in Sacramento, and it very well could, because this is something people feel at a very visceral level, Shannon, things that are happening in these cities that affect millions of Californians, and this video you're showing is just an example of that.
You guys have had really strict lockdowns, really hard caseloads and deaths and hospitalizations over the last year and a half. There has been some pushback from, business owners who thought a lot of these things weren't logically tied to factual information about how to manage the risk, so they could be open in some way, and some businesses favored and others not. So there's been a lot of pushback. Now there is a school system there that is suing over mask mandates in Orange County. The California Department of Health is now responding to that. They say California's COVID-19 prevention strategies are the best way to fully open our schools while protecting students and staff. Say they align with the CDC and the American Academy of Pediatrics. They say the suits are a disappointing distraction from a common goal of getting kids back into school safely and limiting the spread of COVID-19. They say suing over these mask mandates is a distraction. They've got it under control.
Well, look, what's upsetting here is the arbitrariness with which these decisions are made. It's one of the reasons I'm seeking public office here in California. I believe we need transparency into decision making. We need to understand why things are being done the way they're being done. When we had the economic shutdowns this year, we never really understood what the rationale was for the differences between one round of shutdowns, the next round of shutdowns. You'd have the governor making these emergency edicts. No one really knew what was going on. So what we ultimately need, and this is why people here are frustrated, is we need a better sense of why government is doing what it's doing. And with this latest round of things we're seeing with the schools, the possibility that kids might not be in school, the possibility they're going to have to wear masks the entire time, I think parents want to know and understand, why are these decisions being made? Why is it that people are having to do what they're having to do? And ultimately, unless government is more responsive, people are going to continue to be upset out here, Shannon.
Yeah, and they want to think that the governor and other elected officials there in California are actually following the same rules they're giving everybody else as well.
Yeah.
Lanhee Chen, great to see you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Same to you.
When a Big Mac